Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'd like to first of all start off by saying Happy New Year. Can you believe that we have entered into 2015? And we know with New Year's that New Year's resolutions also come along with that. And a resolution can help you become better at something that you want to work on. And if you are here today joining us because one of your goals for 2015 is to take control of your finances and become financially fit, we want to say congratulations. And we are going to enjoy spending some time with you today. My name is Sarah Landrum, and during today's webinar, Becoming Financially Fit, we are going to talk about things like what net worth means, how to create a spending plan, how to review debts owed, the importance of having a savings plan, and the importance of monitoring your financial health. Your lines have been muted. You will have the opportunity at the end to ask questions. We will also be sending out a copy of today's presentation along with the recording. So let's go ahead and start off with a poll question. And the poll question is, in 2013, what percentage of U.S. households prepared a monthly budget? A, 32%, B, 48%, C, 20%, or D, 43%. And I'll give you a few seconds to make your choice. And the answer is A, 32%. So if you guessed that, that is correct. And before we actually dive into the information, one of the things that I would like to recommend to you is if you want to start becoming financially fit, pick out an accountability partner, someone that can help you through the process, someone that you can trust, someone that you can trust to be honest with you, that will encourage you. Just like you start a new diet or you start a new exercise program, you have someone that can go to the gym with you, you have someone that you can call when you want to indulge in that extra donut. Do the same thing with your financial fitness program. Have someone that you can call when you want to not put money in the savings account this month, or you want to spend money on something extravagant and you know you don't have it. So pick out an accountability partner, and they will be there to just help you through the process. In order to know where you're going, you are going to have to know where you are right now. And the first step in a financial fitness program is to know your net worth. And net worth is basically the total of assets, the things that you own. And an example would be like a home, a car, and it's going to be subtracting your total liabilities, the things that you actually owe. And that's where you come up with your net worth. And in order to help you to figure out what your net worth is, if you don't know already what it is, I have found a nice online calculator, and I want to take you to it, and here is the link to it, and you'll have that when we send out the presentation as well, so you don't have to worry about writing it down. But we're going to go out to the site and just look at it. And what the calculator will do is going to allow you to put in all of your assets. And I like this particular calculator best because it kind of breaks it down into categories. So what you would do is enter the values of the different assets, the things that you own, and then at the very end of the calculator, it is going to ask you the liabilities, the things that you actually owe. And then once you put in the values, you're going to hit the submit button, and then it will tell you what your net worth is. And then once you figure out what your net worth is, the next step would be to create a spending plan. whether you call it a budget, whether you call it a spending plan, whatever it is that you call it, this is the plan that's going to help you understand where your money goes. And there's a couple of steps, and really in creating a spending plan, it's basic addition and it's basic subtraction. So if you know how to add, if you know how to subtract, you can create a spending plan. So the first step in creating a spending plan is to calculate your monthly income. And a lot of times when people are creating a spending plan, they forget about some types of income. Most people's income comes from their job, and that's it. But sometimes people will get gifts, sometimes people will sell something, and that's also a part of income. So when you calculate your monthly income, be sure to calculate everything that you know will be coming in. And then once you figure out what your income is going to be, then you're going to calculate your monthly expenses. And going back to income, I just wanted to say something else about that too. This is the part of your spending plan that you have the least control over, because you work a certain amount of hours a week, and then you make a certain amount, and that's all that you get for working on your job. You make a certain amount of money, and you make a certain amount an hour. So you have less control over that in a budget because it is what it is. But in the expense part, this is where you have more control over, because you are actually the one that's making the choices. So once you figure out what your monthly income is, the next step would be to calculate your monthly expenses. And when I talk about monthly expenses, there's actually 3 types of expenses. The first type is going to be a fixed expense. And while fixed expenses, they can kind of work for you and they can work against you when you're creating a spending plan, because your fixed expenses, you know what they're going to be. Whether it's a house payment, whether it's a car payment, you can expect that amount every month. The downside to that is you can't really change a fixed expense. And then the next type of expense would be your variable expenses. And your variable expenses, this is where you have more control, because again, you're making the choices and you're the one that has more control over these, because they fluctuate, they change. Now, when you're creating a spending plan, it can be a little bit hard, because you have to estimate these. You don't know what they're going to be. But again, they're easier for you to work with, because you can make changes in your variable expenses. Then there's also periodic expenses. These are the type of expenses that you don't pay on a monthly basis, but they're equally important to your monthly budget. And a great example would be car insurance. Most people pay their car insurance every quarter, maybe every 6 months. This is I think the part when people make a spending plan, I think this is the part where they make the biggest mistake, because they don't calculate a periodic expense into a monthly amount. They wait till 3 months comes around, they have a $200 car payment or insurance payment, and then they don't have the money. They have to find it somewhere else. But if you take your periodic expenses and you make them into a monthly amount, then you can ensure that you have that money when that bill comes due. And then once you figure out all of your monthly income, and then you figure out all your monthly expenses, you're going to subtract your expenses from your income. And this is where you get to see your final outcome. This is what you have left over. Hopefully you have a positive number. But if you find out maybe the number is not what you want it to be, or maybe you find out you're not going to have enough money for this month, the first step is for you to go back and look at those variable expenses. See how you're spending your money. Are you spending too much money eating out or in groceries? Maybe your electric bill has maybe doubled because of the cold weather. But go back and look at those types of expenses and make adjustments to them in your spending plan, so you can at least have money left over at the end of the month. And then the next step in becoming financially fit is to look at what your debt to income ratio is. This is as important as your credit score, and it's a personal finance measure that compares an individual's debt payment to his or her overall income. A debt-to-income ratio is one way that lenders measure an individual's ability to manage monthly payments and repay debts. This number you would want to keep at 35% or below. And if you have a low debt-to-income ratio, this demonstrates a good balance between debt and income. You're managing it well. But let's say you have a high debt-to-income ratio. That can signal an individual has too much debt for the amount of income that they have. And I'm going to show you two different ways to actually review the debts that you currently have. Some of you may have all of your accounts at one financial institution, so you can log on to your account on online banking and see the balances of all your loans. But sometimes you have them spread out. Maybe you have a store credit card somewhere, or maybe you have a credit card with another financial institution, your car payments with another financial institution. So a great resource for you to use is annualcreditreport.com. We're going to go and actually look at the site. This is a site that is managed by the Federal Trade Commission as well as the 3 credit bureaus. You are entitled to getting a free credit report from each of the 3 credit reporting agencies every 12 months. So this is what it looks like. We're at annualcreditreport.com, so you know you are on the correct website. You're not on a website that's going to tell you get a free credit report and then once you get it you have to pay for it. This is the site that you definitely want to be on, and you can see where it's brought to you by TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And when you order a copy of your credit report, it's going to show all the debts that you have out there, and it's going to show the balances that you have as well. So be sure that you know exactly how much debt you have, and Annual Credit Report is a great way, or annualcreditreport.com is a great way for you to do so. And something that I love and I highly promote is a program called Savvy Money Checkup. In 2009, Filene, which is a research institute that works closely with financial institutions to help them develop better products and services for their members, created something that was called Debt in Focus. And it was created because what research found is people that are struggling with their finances are least likely to reach out for help. So this free and anonymous online program was developed so people could get online and see what their financial situation was without really anybody knowing about it. Well, in 2012, it was acquired by Savvy Money, and it is now called Savvy Money Checkup. And I am going to take you here and let you see it. Like I said, I love this program. It does so much for you. Not only does it let you look at your debt, but it will also let you create a spending plan, or if you call it a budget, it will allow you to do that as well. So we're going to go to myDCCU.com, and at our website we have a Learn and Grow section. It's our financial education part of our website. And I do recommend it. We have some different resources out there that you can read in your own time. And once we get here and click on the Learn and Grow section, we have the Money Checkup. And it looks like this. And I want to kind of take you quickly through it so you'll know exactly what it looks like and what to expect when you use it. So we're just going to click on Savvy Money Checkup. There's a little video that you can watch if you have time for that, but we're going to click on Get Started because you would be a new visitor if you've never used the site before. And I had stated earlier that it is free and anonymous, so when you actually get into the system, you have a revisit ID. This is who you are. You are a number, so we don't know that you're into the program and you're putting your information in. We don't know who you are. Okay, so you want to make sure you write that down because you might not be able to finish when you start, or maybe you want to update your situation and keep it current as it changes. So it's going to ask you some information, and we'll just kind of click through these. If you don't know what your credit score is, you can kind of guess at it. We had talked about annualcreditreport.com before. Now, when you get your free credit reports, you do not get your credit score for free. You can pay at the end of it if you want to get your credit score, and in this case, if you did that, you'd be able to put that in. So we're just going to put it right here, about 690. Okay. And then it's going to ask, oh, let me go back over here. I think I skipped that part. So let's get back over here. It's going to ask you what you want to do. Do you want to create a budget? Is your goal using the program to get out of debt? And we're just going to say get out of debt. And then it's going to ask you what your debt situation is. Let's say I can only make minimum payments. And then it asks you some information about your income. You can put in your annual amount, or if you want to go to the income calculator and put in what you make, an hour and how many hours a week that you work, you can do that as well. So let's just type in this. And it also has a part on here where you can choose where you live, what state, and it'll deduct about how much what that state takes out for taxes. And then you're going to enter in your information here about your debt, and we'll just do this. It asks the balance of your loan, what kind of loan it is, and I'm just putting in some fictitious information. And then once you put in all of your debt, you're going to hit next. This is the part that will create the budget for you. You're going to put in all of your information of what you're spending every month, and then it pulls over the information. So had you put any credit card information in the debt screen, or if you put in a car payment, anything like that, it pulls it over so you don't have to put it in again. So let's just say we're just going to put our groceries in. We're not going to fill out everything because you'll get to do that when you use it. And then we're just going to now click on See Results. If you want to register, you can put in your email and your password, but again, it's free and anonymous, so you don't have to put in that information. And then it's going to tell you what your revolving debt ratio is. Is it healthy? In this case, we didn't put in all the information, so it is. Is your debt to income ratio? Yes. It is healthy. But let's say it's not. You can click on this button here and it'll tell you how to fix it. You can set up a payment plan for your loans as well. You can do the debt stacking plan, or you can do the snowballing plan, and it'll just help you to pick the best plan for yourself. And then also, too, this is really what I like about it, because I do help a lot of people budget here at the credit union. Part of my job is to financially counsel people, and I love this because it will let you view your budget. It tells you what your monthly income is. It has the different categories in here. What percentage based on your income should you be spending in the certain categories. So I love this. You can print it out. And then, like I said, you can go back and update your information. And if you decide, wait a minute, now I'm looking at my situation, I still would like to meet with somebody, then you can contact the credit union. And if you click on the contact button, it will allow you then to schedule a meeting. I will get an email, I will call you, and we can sit down and look at your results and help you to make a plan. Next thing I want to talk about is savings plans. And we're going to talk about two different types of savings plans, short-term and then long-term savings plans, because basically you should have both. When we talk about the short-term savings plans, I want to ask you a question. Let's say your refrigerator or maybe your hot water heater broke today. Would you have the money to pay for that? or would you have to get one of your credit cards out to pay for it? Maybe your car breaks down. Maybe you have to replace the engine in it. A short-term savings plan is great to have because it helps you prepare for emergencies. You just never know what is going to come up. You don't know what to expect. So having a short-term savings plan and money in a savings account. I love this little graphic here because as you look at the piggy bank, he's on empty. Your goal is to start filling his tank up and eventually get over here to full so you can be better prepared for those things that come up. Also, too, when you have a savings account, your money's insured. And if, for some reason your financial institution would go out of business, your money's insured. You're not going to lose it. You also earn interest with having money, and then over time, the more interest that you earn in having money in a savings account. And then also, too, it is recommended that you have 3 to 6 months of budgeted expenses in a savings account. Now, I know the lines are muted, but I think I heard some of you just take a very big deep breath because you think, I'm living paycheck to paycheck now. How in the world am I going to have 3 to 6 months worth of budgeted expenses saved? Well, that is your goal. Of course, we know you're not going to have that achieved tomorrow. This is where, what you want to work on over time is to have that much money in a savings account. But one of the things that I do like to say is if you can start off by putting money in a savings account and having a month's worth of budgeted expenses, this is probably the first goal that you should have. Because if there's a job loss or something comes up that you just did not know about, it takes about a month to start getting unemployment. So if you have that month of budgeted expenses, at least you know after that month you're going to start maybe drawing an unemployment check. So 3 to 6 months worth of budgeted expenses is really what you want to have overall, and that's that goal that you want to reach. But if you can start not as aggressive and start by having that month's worth, I think that'll help you then to look at it once you get that much saved, and then it'll help you achieve the bigger goal. And then also too, talking about the other type of savings plans, long-term savings plans. And typically when we talk about long-term savings plans, we're talking about retirement funds. And that's what most people think of when they think of a long-term plan. We recommend that if your employer has a retirement plan like a 401k, that you do participate in it because you have an advantage of putting your money in and they match you by a certain percentage. So you're getting, some free money from your employer, and it just better prepares you for the future. Some employers don't offer a 401k plan or a retirement plan, so we do also recommend that you open an IRA account. There's different types of IRA accounts that you can look at those options and see what best suits your needs. But we do recommend that you start saving for retirement. And something that DCCU and Member Investment Services will be offering late January will be the Roadmap to Retirement, and they're free workshops, and they're going to be held at various locations of DCCU offices. If you want to go to myDCCU.com, and in the middle of that homepage you should see something similar to what you're seeing on the screen now, Free Road to Retirement Workshop. If you want to click on that, it will take you to a page that shows you all the dates and times, and then you're able to also register for the workshop. That way you can learn more about long-term savings plans. And then as we are talking about saving money, I just wanted to show you people who save their money, they pay themselves first. When we were talking about a spending plan earlier, and a lot of times when I talk to people, they kind of get confused with when they should or how they should save their money. And kind of a question that I'm going to put in your mind, we're not going to put it up as a poll question, but a question that I want you to think about as I'm talking is, when you create your spending plan and you look at your expenses, should you pay all of your expenses, then save some money, and then you can, of course, spend the rest? Or should you save money first? Should you then pay your expenses, and then you can spend what's left over or save what's left over? And a lot of times I get mixed answers. Oh, well, you should always pay your bills first, because that's how we're taught. But your savings account, paying yourself first, should be your very first expense in your spending plan. Because what happens when you pay all your bills and you look at that money that's left over, you're probably not going to save it. You're going to probably spend it. So if you get into a habit of taking that money out first, putting it into a savings account or putting it in some type of investment, it's gone, you never see it. And a great way to be able to do that is to have direct deposit from your employer and have a certain amount go into the savings account. That way you know it's there, that way you get into a habit. So when you pay yourself first, what are some of the benefits? Savers can weather changes calmly. They don't get upset because they know they have some money in savings to help them through the hard times. Savers can leave a job or even lose a job without creating a crisis. Savers can achieve larger goals such as buying a home or even paying for college. Savings protects the things that you bought on credit, like a home or a car. If you, for some reason, have lost your job and you need to still make those monthly obligations, you have a house payment, you have a car payment. If you have money in savings, you can fall back on that until you start earning income again. And most of all, and I think more importantly, is savings provides you a peace of mind. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen. You have that money in there to fall back on should something come up. And another step in financial fitness is to monitor your accounts. Let's say this year is the year that you get on track and you are financially fit at the end of 2015. But you didn't monitor your accounts and something happened. Let's say maybe someone stole your identity. There's nothing worse than those types of things that can happen that can really crush your plan. So one of the things that I highly recommend is to use online banking. I love online banking. I think it's just such a convenient service to have. If you don't have online banking, set your account up today. That way you can look at your account 24/7. You can look at it every day, anytime you want to. And if you're a smartphone user, DCCU also offers a mobile app. That's another way to be able to monitor your accounts. And then as we talked earlier about annualcreditreport.com and getting a copy of your credit report, yes, it's important so you can look at the debts that you owe, but it's also important for fraudulent activities. Somebody has gotten a hold of your information. They've opened a credit card in your name. Maybe they've stolen your identity and they've taken out a car loan in your name. If you monitor your credit throughout the year, you would see these things happen early on, and then you could stop them before they really create havoc in that spending plan that you created so well. And then the last thing that I want to say is to check your progress. Okay, you're on the right track and you're headed to where you want to go. Check your progress monthly. I'm not going to say check it every day because that kind of will drive you crazy. You know, it's kind of like people that have money in the stock market and they look every day at their account to see whether it lost money or gained money. But check your progress monthly. And then also check in with your accountability partner. Remember that person we talked about at the very beginning that's going to help you along the way and that's going to motivate you, encourage you, be truthful with you if you're not doing something right in your financial fitness program. Check in with them. Let them know how that you're doing. And then if you do see that changes need to be made, maybe you need to go back to the spending plan and make some adjustments to your expenses. Whatever that is, you make those changes, and we want you to be extremely successful. And we can be your accountability partner. You know, one of the unique things that we do at DCCU is we provide private financial counseling meetings. We are here to help you. We want to help our members get back on track and feel successful with their finances. So if you don't have anybody else to depend on, you can depend on us at DCCU. That is all I have for you today. I know it was a lot of information, but we're going to take some time now to answer your questions. So let's see if we have any questions. Okay, it looks like to me we have, one of the questions is, do I have to be a DCCU member to use Savvy Money? No, you do not. DCCU is a community credit union, so the resources that we offer are also for our community. You would just need to go to the website myDCCU.com. You would also go to the Learn and Grow section. And again, because it's free and anonymous, we would not know whether or not you're a member, so please check it out. It's a great service, and it's not just for the membership, but people in the community. Okay, and the next question is, can I set up alerts in online banking through DCCU to help monitor my account? Absolutely. That is a great question. And we do have settings in the online banking. I wish I would have known would get this question today, because I could pull up the test account. I don't have the information with me. But yes, you can actually have those set up. You can set up different types of alerts if there's a transaction that happens. I have mine. They come in text form. You can also set them up to come through your email. So yes, absolutely. If you would like to contact me individually, I will be more than glad to walk you through the steps on how to set those alerts up. That's a great way to monitor your account, because that text comes in or that email comes in and you know that something has happened. Okay, the next question is, does DCCU do refinancing for houses where mortgages are upside down? Is this a recommended move for us to make to improve our budget situation? That's a great question. What I would like to do is get you in touch with one of our mortgage advisors, because they are the experts in mortgage questions. So if you would like to send me your information, and you can just send it to me at slandrum@myDCCU.com, I will get you in contact with a mortgage advisor, and they would be able to answer those questions for you. Okay, we're just waiting to see if we get any more questions in. And again, I did want to just remind everybody, if retirement is something that you are interested in, don't forget to go to myDCCU.com and look at the retirement workshops and sign up for that, because again, they are free and you'll get a lot of good information on preparing for that long-term savings plan, having money in retirement. And that looks like all the questions that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope you have found the information to be beneficial to help you get physically fit. And we just wish you the best of luck throughout 2015 in getting into a better situation with your finances. Thank you, and have a great rest of the day.